Dr. Evangelos Milonas at Kinetic Health. Now we'll be demonstrating some hip raises, and we're going to work through a number of variations, starting out with a basic one and moving into progressively more difficult ones. So the first one we'll be demonstrating with Wendy here is a weighted hip raise. Now this exercise will primarily work your glutes and your hamstrings, but it will activate your core as well as you try to stabilize. So we've got Wendy here, great, yep, she's got the plate, perfect. You want it across the front of your hips, is it comfortable there?
Yep. Good,
okay, and then go raise up. There you go, good. So as you can see, she's maintaining a nice straight back. What do you feel as you do this? Any tips?
The glutes you want to squeeze as you go back, as you go up.
Okay.
And relax as you go down. And make sure your plate is below your rib cage so you're not injuring yourself in that way.
That's a very good point. Yeah, always make sure you're comfortable. Great. So you'd probably do 10 to 12 raises?
10 to 12, about 3 to 4 sets.
Okay. And really maintain your form as you do this, making sure it's a nice, smooth movement. Great exercise to activate the glutes and hamstrings. Now this next hip raise is a hip raise with the knees pressed out. And so what you'll need to perform this is just a looped piece of Theraband. As you can see here, we've got a nice piece of Theraband. And Wendy's already placed that around her legs, just above the knees here. Okay, and I'll have Wendy come up and pressing the legs out as she comes up. There. And now she's going to maintain this position with the legs out. And so what this emphasizes are the abductors, the abductors. Then drop down. Good. Yeah, and then come up again. So once again, you're performing a hip raise with the emphasis being on the glute medius and the maximus, the abductors on the outside of the leg. Good. Now this next variation on the hip raise is a hip raise with a knee squeeze. So we'll be using a yoga block here. We'll have Wendy get in position. Great. Yeah. So you're placing the block between the knees and you're squeezing your knees together to hold the block in place. And you'll hold that block in place as you perform the hip raise. So come on up. Good. Yeah. And back down. So once again, maintaining form, 10 to 12 repetitions. And you're working the glutes and hamstrings, but also the inside part of your thigh, the adductors, the adductors. Can you feel that as you do this?
Definitely. Yeah. And everything else.
And everything else, no. Just great exercises. And if you find that the block's slipping, it might be an indication that the adductors are a little bit weak, so it's something you want to focus in on. And once again, working up to about 3 sets. Great exercise. Now this next variation on the hip raise is a marching hip raise. And it's a dynamic exercise. You're going to be moving your legs back and forth in a marching-like manner. So we'll have Wendy lie down here. Perfect, getting into position. Great. So you're going to come up like a normal hip raise. And then you're going to tuck one knee in towards your chest. Great, and then alternate with the other leg. Good. So you're doing this in a continuous motion, making a flat back, keeping the hips up, bracing the core. Great, yeah. And you'll do about 10 to 12 repetitions on each leg, working your way up to about 3 sets. Very challenging exercise. How's that feel?
Very challenging indeed.
That's a great one. It works the core, the hips, glutes, hamstrings. Overall, a great exercise. Now this last variation on the marching hip raise is going to be even more challenging. We're going to utilize a Swiss ball. So it's a marching hip raise with a Swiss ball. So we're going to have Wendy come up into position here. Great. Now this one's really difficult. It's going to engage all the muscles of the core, glutes, hamstrings, and we'll start marching now. Can you feel that? Yeah,
Yes.
It's very challenging. So once again, try to get 10 to 12 reps per leg, working up to 3 sets. Great exercise.